Got to remember my buttons. How you doing, everybody? Lucky Gypsy, how you doing? A Nerdy Dude Gaming over on Twitch. Hello to nobody on Rumble yet, but I'm sure people will be coming in shortly. It's just a matter of time. Hopefully you all are having a great weekend. It's Saturday, so that's a lovely day as always. But it's the last live show of the week, obviously, since it's the last day of the week. But there won't be another live show again until next Wednesday, because we do these live streams every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So there's 3 live streams per week, and that's what we're doing. Hi, Spirit Stalker. Hello to you. Thank you for coming in. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Bonnie Moore. My first time here, Bonnie says. Well, welcome. It's great to have you here. Thanks for giving it a shot. Are you just stumbled onto the Paranormal Portal, or are you familiar with the show a little bit from maybe the podcast or just here, or it's just like, hey, what's that? Let's click it and see, because all are okay. I'm always curious. How do people find us? Bonnie, there's my mom. She is Bonnie Moore. Hi, Bonnie Moore. BJ's mom. Welcome back. Good to see you. BJ told me about you. Well, good. I hope all good things. I can't be held responsible for everything, because I might just have a minor form of Tourette's. You just never know. But yeah, everybody's welcome. Thank you all for being here and being a part of the journey. We are thrilled to have you here. So anybody else that's new, welcome everybody. And if you're a regular here, welcome. HB Girl to you and Barbara Moore over on Rumble. We'll do shout outs more officially in a little bit. People got to get time to get in the door, coming from other shows or just coming from wherever they're coming from. So I always like to give it a little bit of time. Of course, Deb Varner was the first through the gate tonight. Thank you, Deb, for being here. As always, our Paranormal Portal psychic herself. Deb is a long and wonderful relationship with the show. She used to do call-in readings on the show live, and it was always amazing. She is truly a rare talent in the biz, and I still miss doing those shows. Those were a lot of fun. But she is here, and she does private readings as well. So if you're looking for a good reading, that's a great place to start. Visit Deb on Facebook. You can find her by looking for Purple Mystic Reader at gmail.com, or just look for Deborah Davenport Varner on Facebook and let her know you came from the show. Still time to answer the Discord question of the week. You're absolutely right, Rachel. Just go over to discord.gg/paranormal portal. If you're not already a member, become a member of the Discord. It costs you nothing. The application itself is free, and it's a continuation of the live community is over there. So a lot of the same faces you see in chat here are over there, having conversations as well. And everybody's welcome, as long as you're not a problem. If you're not a troll, you're all welcome. But if you are a troll, never mind. Just carry on. Go do troll stuff in the troll lands that you love. So this isn't one of them, but at any rate, yes, we do a thing called the Discord question of the week, and that is one of tonight's features. And that's where we ask our Discord community, actually Chucky Danger, who is the brain behind the Discord question of the week. He asks some question to do with the paranormal, whether it's ghost, UFOs, cryptozoology, or strange phenomena, or anything else. He asks you a question, and you just weigh in with what you think. There's no wrong answers. Nobody knows. Just, give it your best. And your answers are just as valid as anyone's answers, which is wonderful. So, we got to, of course, get to another installment. We're going to do the news, the Discord question of the week. Then we're going to do maybe an article we might touch on a little bit. I found a cool site. It might have been recommended to me. I don't remember if Rachel sent me this one or not, but very cool. But might explore some haunted hotel experiences. Not a ton of them, because I do have a bunch of the what the hell is that, and then we'll close out. Oh yeah, there was one article I was going to do, and it's based on why I picked the thumbnail that I picked for tonight's show. I developed that based on the article from Phantoms and Monsters that deals with like small little proto-pygmies, meaning like goblins or gnomes that people encounter. And I thought it'd be fun to read that. And that's one of the reasons I love Phantoms and Monsters so much, because Lon really has such an incredible spectrum of topics that he covers on phantomsandmonsters.com and on his own live show, which is Phantoms and Monsters Radio. And you can check that out on YouTube as well, or his Facebook, or wherever you find Lon. Lon's pretty much everywhere. It's also a podcast, so you can find it on the podcast players as well. Just look for Phantoms and Monsters Radio, and you can hear Lon's streams himself. So, but those are live. He does his live streams on YouTube every Friday night at, it'd be 6 Pacific time, 9 Eastern time, and he does about an hour show. So they're a lot of fun. They're really great to listen to. So lots of wonderful stuff going on here tonight. Then, of course, we'll hit the cryptid corner with a little bit of time that we got left, and we'll see where we end up. But, if ever any of you have something that you want to ask, always feel free in the chat. Just simply capitalize your message and do it in all capital letters. And, if you have a question you want to ask me. I'll tell you what I think. It doesn't mean I'm right, but I'll give you my best ideas of whatever you're curious about. If it has to do with Bigfoot, if it has to do with Dogman, if it has to do with ghosts, if it has to do with extraterrestrials or UFOs, whatever, or even strange phenomena. I've got ideas about all of it. Doesn't mean I'm right, but I got a lot of ideas. Hi, Laura Pruitt. Good to see you. So I didn't get a chance to look at those, Laura, but thank you for sending them. I just have very little time throughout the days as it is, but thank you. I will try to look at them as soon as I can, Laura. Thank you. So anyway, we got a lot to get to. The laundry list is pretty full tonight, but again, always you guys are my co-host here on the show, regardless of whether there's someone else on the show with me. You guys are a part of the show. So if you have questions, if you have a curiosity, feel free to ask it. I'd love to field your questions as well throughout the show. It's always open forum for discussion here. The Paranormal Portal is first and foremost a discussion about this stuff. I don't claim to be an expert. There are no such things, but I'm sure as hell curious about a lot of it, and I got a lot of ideas, but so do you, and that's why I love the Discord question of the week. Let me make sure I got that pulled up as well before I forget. I did not start the Ghost Radar yet either. Last night, I don't know if you guys caught it last night. We had a pretty incredible one single experience with the Ghost Radar last night that was really stand out. Now, if you're familiar with the live streams, we do the what the hell is that? And that's basically where I'll show you some photo, some image, some video that's apparently representing paranormal or, supernatural Fortean kind of phenomena, and we kind of vote on it. And the voting system is just simply in the chat. I ask you guys, look, do you think that that's real? If you do, give me a 1 in chat. And they said, if you think it's not real, give me a 0. And we utilize this little box over here, right there. This box is a Ghost Radar that's usually on. Let me turn it on quick, and then I'll fill you in on what happened last night. It was really cool. It really stunned me. I don't get stunned very often, but I was truly impressed with the feedback that we got. So it's January 10th already. My God, where's the time going? It's going to be, I almost typed 25. It's 26 now. But so the Ghost Radar is here where I'm moving my mouse. And this is a radar that picks up EM anomalies, electromagnetic anomalies, utilizing a piece of equipment that's in all wireless devices called a magnetometer. And that's why there's ghost apps for phones and tablets and stuff, because everything that can communicate wirelessly has a magnetometer, and magnetometers can literally map out electromagnetic anomalies, things that are real spiky or strange, and it can trigger them on this radar. It's also what you're seeing in these bars here. Now, also, this has a word database built into it. And, it usually is not really relevant. However, last night, we got done looking at an image that was apparently a ghost image. And I said, all right, guys, time to vote in the chat. Let me know what you think. If you think it's real, give me a 1. If you think it's not real, give me a 0. And on cue, without missing a beat, the ghost radar, the vocal, the word database spits out one. O-N-E, the word one. And I was like, wow. And I was really floored. Oh, was it zero? Maybe it was zero. I'm sorry. Maybe it was zero. I got it transposed. But in any case, it answered in real time. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that suggestion last night, Rachel. And it's certainly something that I'm going to do. I do use a program that's supposed to go through the live streams and pull those. I didn't check it today and see if that's one that it flagged, but if not, I will do that. But it was just so dead on. The timing was absolutely perfect. That means those dots mean that there's presences around me now. So hopefully they'll vote tonight too. And with either ones or zeros. I mean, it only did it once last night, but I thought that was really amazing. How do you make one disappear? You subtract one. You put -1 and the one disappears and it's a zero. The basic math, Poncho. So anyway, yeah. Hi, Jason Finch. Good to see you. But the ghost radar was really on last night. I was just really impressed. Because not only was it in real time responding, but it was responding in the context that I laid out, a 1 or a 0. And it hit 0. It spit out 0. And it was like, 0. It does it in this really monotone voice. So they love your show, Brent. I'm glad. I'm glad, as long as they're not creepy and evil, everybody's welcome. But not creepy and evil things, of course. But anyway, I thought that was really cool. So if you didn't see last night's show, you can certainly watch a replay. I will be making a short about that at some point in the near future, probably in the next few days. Yeah, Hello Friend said the timing was impeccable. It really was. I literally sat here with chills. I'm like, wow. How do you explain that away? I mean, there's thousands and thousands of words in the database, and it could have spit out anything. Not only was it absolutely on cue, but it was a relevant answer. So it was like we got our first ghost box vote on the What the Hell Is That segment. So very cool. And I guess that was them coming in to let us know they're here. It was 3 of them. Those dots that you see on the screen here, the dot in the middle, the silver dot, is basically my computer tower that's right next to my leg here. So everything around that is in the room. It goes outside of the room. It goes up to 25 yards away that it has a detection radius. So if it's more than just a couple lines over here, it's going to be outside of the house because I'm sitting right next to a wall here. So there's just a couple lines that would put it in the house here. If it goes about 4 lines, then it's the far side of the room, and then continues. That's still in the house. But so over here and over here is all outside of the house. Everything in here is in. So that means they're right by me. If it's indeed. Now, is it for sure paranormal? No. It could be detecting any number of anomalous electromagnetic things. This is an old house. It's got old wiring. So it's possible that some of it is just detecting normal EM variations. Hell, somebody could be turning on the microwave in another part of the room or in another part of the house, and it could theoretically cause this to go, hey, I'm detecting EM spikes. Well, sure. It's the EM microwave generators are huge electromagnetic, generators. So anyway, the guy, the old, where, which guy? Facing to the left. The guy behind you on your left facing back side is creepy looking. Too bad his eyes don't light up red. You mean the skull? Or, I don't know, that would be this side. Oh, this guy here? That's an alien gray head mask. I think that's what you're talking about. I don't know. If you missed it by going back in chat, here's the Discord link again. Yes, thank you, Rachel. So we're going to be doing the Discord question of the week. Sorry, I just wanted to rehash that incredible happening last night when the ghost radar was absolutely on cue, perfect timing, and pretty incredible. That was really incredible. So, at any rate, yeah, let's get going. Yeah, the one I pointed out. Okay. Yeah, that's just a little alien gray. I thought about mounting LEDs in that to make the eyes light up, but I haven't ever done that. I got enough battery stuff that I end up spending a lot of money on batteries just for this display behind me. So Trying to cut down, save some money. But anyway. All right, but I guess it's time for some news. Let's get to the news. I've been flapping my lips long enough and probably lost a lot of interested parties already. I didn't mean to lose parties, but it happens. I just have fun getting together and talking with you guys and sharing stuff like that. Sharing, not Sharon as in a name, but sharing. All right, let's get to the news, ladies and gentlemen, and find out what the hell's going on in the world, because hell, I don't even know. Sorry, my chair's rubbing against my desk, so it sounds pretty obnoxiously stupid. All right, here we go. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the news. That was the news, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk, and I am your anchor, Brent Thomas here, and hopefully you're going to enjoy the ride as much as we can. But I've pulled up several articles for your enjoyment and infotainment. I don't know is infotainment a word? I think it is. But if it's not, it is now. I don't pre-read anything, so I'm going to be reading it cold with you guys. So we'll be learning it together, whatever all this stuff is. Remember, throughout the course of the show, I utilize a lot of different websites. And please, 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 on these websites, please support these sites. Please visit them. Please check them out, because your traffic does equal revenue and helps to keep the lights on for them. And they're doing the best work I've ever seen online. And I can't support them enough. So please visit these sites, give them your love, and keep them on the air for all of us. All right, let's get to it. It's time for the first of the news. And this one's coming from an amazing site that we utilize all the time here on the news. In fact, it is the news site that I rely heavily on. And this is called unexplained-mysteries.com. The first article might be one that several of you are familiar with, at least some of it. Maybe all of it. Hi, Lori Gibbs. Good to see you. Hi, Isaac. Hello. Give baby Ethan the hug. Look great in his onesie today, by the way. That was wonderful. And hello to all of you guys. We'll do shout outs in just a little bit. Hang in there. Hi, Phil Funk. Hi, T-Bone. Hi, Yeshua. Wizard. I'm just popping up the names as they go. Barbara Moore and Dog Digger are over on Rumble. And I know a Nerdy Dude Gaming is over on Twitch, or at least was. Hopefully he's still there. Anyway, let's get to the news and find out what this is. Ghosts and hauntings. This is a controversy that's going on for quite a while now. Conjuring House saga twist as ghost hunters Jason Hawes tries to buy it. And of course, this has been going back and forth. I know that Matt Rife and Elton, whatever his name is, I guess they bought out the banknote, but apparently Jason Hawes had some kind of deed signed over to him, and I guess the court didn't like that. So there's lots of back and forth weirdness on this thing, and there's a lot of opinions. I don't know enough to have an opinion, honestly. I think any of them in any of those parties would probably be great owners of it. I just think it should be preserved, and whoever does that, God bless them. I'm not getting involved in the popularity contest. Because honestly, I don't know either of those guys, any of them, really. So that they all could be dicks or they all could be amazing guys. I just don't know. I'm a fan of Matt Rife. I love his comedy. He's hilarious. But I don't know the guy. And I don't know Jason Hawes either, but I've been a big fan of his for years too. And Elton too. I've watched his YouTube channel. So I know those are some of the interested parties in this, but let's see what the article says. It says the fate of the iconic haunted house that inspired the entire movie franchise remains in the balance. We last reported of the drama surrounding the remote Rhode Island farmhouse, which was the scene of a notorious real-life haunting that plagued the Perron family for years back in September when it was revealed that it would be going up for auction at Halloween. Well, the story goes that of a witch who was said to have cursed the property, dooming anyone that lived there. The house has changed hands several times over the years, with the Heinzen family buying it in 2019, and then just 2 years later, it was sold again and opened to the public as a paranormal attraction. And as it turned out, the Halloween auction never took place, but in an unexpected twist, Jason Hawes of Ghost Hunters fame, having been publicly called upon by Andrea Perrin to preserve the property, started a GoFundMe to purchase it himself, arguing that it should be cared for respectfully. According to reports, when the house's current owner suffered financial difficulties and defaulted on their mortgage, the door was potentially open for Hawes' $1.3 million bid to go through. Since then, however, further legal disagreements have put a block on the sale, meaning that the whole thing is now up in the air and it is unclear whether Hawes will still be able to purchase it or not. Certain legal documents now prevent the transfer of ownership for the foreseeable future, and as things stand, the drama surrounding the house, it seems, is no closer to being resolved. Yeah, it's just up in the air. I just hope somebody that loves the property and is going to take care of it and preserve it gets it. I don't know who that is or who it should be, but yeah, it's been a real conundrum. I don't know what the hell's going on. Had you guys heard about this? Let me know in the comments if you're watching it now, or let me know. Let me know in the chat if you're watching it now, but let me know in the comments if you're watching it later. I think it's interesting. I know there's a lot of hurt feelings involved in this, but I just hope they find a solution that works out the best for everybody and the community as a whole. Larry and Shirley Bell says, I follow Jason, used to watch him and the gang when they were on TV every week. Hope everyone on here is doing all right. Yeah, I think as far as I know, Jason Hawes is a decent guy. I don't know. I don't know him personally though, so I can't really weigh in on it in that regard, but seems like a nice guy. I've respected what he's done for years and years. So at any rate, let's get to the next one. There's more. There's always more here on the portal. And if you didn't know about that before, now you know. Now you're kind of up to speed, but not that there's any new answers. It's just kind of rehashing the same scuttlebutt that's been going on for a little while now. Let's get to the next article, and this one's from Space and Astronomy. Yeah, this isn't too long. We can read this one. I don't know what the hell happened. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. But apparently there were some issues on the ISS, the International Space Station. But here you go. Here's the hot sheets, as it were, telling us about some problems they had up there. Because NASA orders space station medical evacuation for the first time ever. What happened? I don't know. Let's find out, though. Return trip to Earth will be happening sooner than planned after an astronaut became unwell with a serious illness. Uh-oh. That's not good. The unprecedented situation unfolded this week as reports emerged suggesting that one of the astronauts aboard the orbiting outpost had been struck down with an unspecified condition. Both the identity of the astronaut and the specifics of the illness have been kept under wraps, leading many to speculate over what the medical emergency could actually be. This latest update indicates that a crew of four led by U.S. Commander Zena Cardman will be returning to Earth much sooner than expected due to the unexpected medical situation. Rumors have been swirling since Wednesday when NASA first revealed that one of the astronauts had taken ill but refused to provide specifics for privacy reasons. And fair enough. I mean, everybody deserves privacy. So I hope they're okay. This was a serious medical condition, said NASA's administrator, Jared Isaacman, and that's why we're pursuing this path. A precise schedule for the return to Earth is expected within the next day or so. According to NASA's chief, how do you get chief? Why did my mouth do that? I don't know. According to NASA's chief, I did it again, health and medical officer, Dr. James Polk, the astronaut is stable, but there remains a lingering risk, especially given the lack of proper diagnosis. Whatever the issue is, it's not clearly possible to treat it properly in Earth's orbit. It's also serious enough that for the first time in history of the space station, NASA has taken the decision to evacuate the astronaut in question back home. I'm proud of the swift effort across the agency thus far to ensure the safety of our astronauts, said Isaacman. Well, yeah, that's gotta suck. I mean, getting a cold at any time is bad, but could you imagine being like this far away from the nearest doctor? I maybe they should just have doctor staff on there. Just put another wing on there for the doctor staff. Let's just get it done right. Give them the full stock of, things that'll help. I don't know. Maybe in the future of space travel, that will be the thing. Obviously, they probably don't obviously have that available. You've got to wonder if it's like some weird bacteria that's just gone out of control and it's not getting cleansed by the atmospheric, filters and stuff. And that would be a little dangerous for sure. Everybody could get sick in a hurry. So hopefully everybody's okay. Hopefully they make it back just fine and it all works out okay. But that's gotta suck to get sick in space. Wow. I can't imagine. But there you go. That's article number 2. But wait, there's more. I got 2 more for you. We're going to do 4 tonight because I got 4 pulled up. And that's what we're going to do. Here we go with the UFO phenomena files of unexplained-mysteries.com. This is servicemen claimed he received code from Rendlesham Forest UFO. And I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but one of the first security guys to discover and actually go up and touch the craft that appeared in the forest of Rendlesham over in the UK. He was plagued with like a binary code, and he started writing it down, and it was just these numbers kept repeating in his mind and in his mind over and over and over. So he wrote them all down. And I guess what I heard was it's binary code, and it spells out something, but I don't remember what. So let's check this out. Sergeant James W. Peniston allegedly received a telepathic message from the UFO more than 45 years ago. The Rendlesham Forest UFO incident, which happened back in December 1980, saw a U.S. serviceman stationed at RAF Woodbridge in England witness a strange object over multiple nights. Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt and his men had gone out to investigate when the unidentified object was spotted descending into the nearby woods. Our security team observed a light that looked like a large eye, red in color, moving through the trees, Halt recalled. After a few minutes, the object began dripping something that looked like molten metal. A short while later, it broke into several smaller white-colored objects, which flew away in all directions. Another of the men who went out to investigate the object that night, Sergeant James W. Peniston, later published the contents of a telepathic message or code that he claimed to have received upon touching it. It consists of multiple numbers, words, and coordinates. The first part reads, Exploration of Humanity 666-8100, continuous for planetary advan, and includes the coordinates 52.094 to those numbers. I'm not going to read all these numbers, but there's the numbers. If anybody's that curious, you can look it up on Google Earth or whatever. The next part of the message reads, fourth coordinate, continue out, UQRS something CBPR before listing several coordinates, and there they are, more coordinates for anybody curious enough. It then ends with the message, eyes of your eyes, the coordinates, origin, whatever, and finally, origin year 8100. Exactly what any of this means remains unclear, as does the question of whether or not the message really was telepathically communicated to Peniston at the time of the incident. Could there be some significance to these coordinates and numbers, who sent them and why? As things stand, the answer to these questions remains unclear. I thought it was a much more poetic message than that, but I guess not. It's kind of really mechanical. It's not really heartfelt. So I thought there was something more meaningful in all of that, but I guess not. I guess that's not the correct version. There you go. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but you are now, at least a little bit, so you're welcome. It all happened here on the news. We got one more article to go to, and this one is one we covered last night, so we don't have anything more to do. I forgot to close it. I thought I had 4. I had 3. It worked out perfect. I guess I could look to pull up another one here, because there was this one. This one has to do with, I guess we'll do 4. Space and astronomy. The hunt for alien life is set to target the atmospheres of exoplanets. That's right. We don't care so much about the dirt. We're going to go to their clouds. Let's find Lando. Cloud City, get it? Star Wars, come on. It's kind of clever. God, this is very, very long. I'll read a little bit of it, and then I'll put a link in the chats if you guys want to check out more. Astronomers will soon have more options than ever before to detect signs of life in the atmospheres of different worlds. And this is by Carol Haswell. We live in a very exciting time. Answers to some of the oldest questions humanity has conceived are within our grasp. Well, that's a little arrogant. One of these is whether Earth is the only place that harbors life. Well, fair enough. In the last 30 years, the question of whether the sun is unique in hosting a planetary system that has been resoundingly answered. We now know of thousands of exoplanets orbiting other stars, but can we use microscopes, not microscopes, to detect whether any of these distant worlds also harbor life? A promising method is set to analyze the gases present in the atmospheres of these planets. We now know of more than 6,000 exoplanets. With so many now cataloged, there are a number of ways to narrow down which worlds are the most promising for biology. Using the planet's distance from its host star, for example, astronomers can work out its likely temperature. Earth is the only planet in the solar system with liquid water oceans on its surface, so mild temperatures are a possible requirement for a habitable planet. Whether a planet has the correct temperature for liquid water is strongly influenced by the presence and nature of the planet's atmosphere. So there's lots of questions, lots of information, and I'll put the link in the chats. You guys can check it out if you so choose. Hopefully later, but if you want to open it now, you're welcome to. There we go. My stomach's kind of churning. I had spaghetti tonight, and woof, it's doing all kinds of kung fu. Nothing bad, nothing crampy, just making noise. So I'm sorry if my stomach gurgles are actually coming through on the broadcast. That sure wasn't my intention. So at any rate, those are the stories tonight here on the news. And I hope you enjoyed the news in its current form. I don't know, it's not necessarily network news, but it's the news we know and trust. So let's get to the next part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be getting into the Discord question of the week, so let's get back to it. Boy, Nate's about to be really disappointed knowing it just ended. Poor Nate, you just made it. But the news is over. We just finished it. We just finished the news, Nate. Sorry. But good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. All right, let's do the shout-outs quick before we go any further, because I want to just acknowledge your presence here on the show. All of you guys are so wonderful to be here. The least I can do is say hi to you. Looks like nothing's changed over on Rumble. The only ones I got to do really are the YouTube. So if you want a YouTube shout out, please type something in the chat, because I won't know you're here unless the chat knows you're here. It doesn't just give me everybody watching. It doesn't give me a listing of that. It gives me only the active participants. In other words, people that are chatting. So if you're sitting there quietly and you don't want a shout out, that's fine. No worries. But I'm just saying, if you want one, you gotta say something. So far, we got Adventures with Beth. Annie Manuel is here. Author-illustrator BJ Lapierre is here. Deb Varner is here. Elaine Clifford is here. Flat Sixer is in the house. John Temprin, Jordan Cogburn, Jose Sanchez, Lori Gibbs, Nathan Nate, Owl Woman is here. Phil Funk, Rachel Gets It Right. Shelley Montgomery is here. Standing Stones is here. T-Bone's here. Truth or Tinfoil. Good to see you, man. Truth or Tinfoil. Woo, Brandon. Wizard Moon's here, and Yeshua Reloaded. So that's who I got so far. If somebody else came in, I do apologize. But did I say Spirit Stalker? I don't even see that one yet. I see Spirit Stalker 55. I see that. And, of course, a Nerdy Dude Gaming. over on Twitch, along with Gypsy is over there, I think. And I'm not sure. Did anybody come in from Facebook that I'm forgetting? But wherever you are, thank you for listening and being a part of the journey. I do appreciate it a bunch. Looks like we got some membering going on. Some remembering. Let's see what this is. All right, Linda gifted a membership. God bless you. Thank you, Linda. Gifted 1 membership. And it looks like Vortex Tube has gotten the membership. So congratulations, Vortex Tube. You're an honorary member of the channel for 30 days. And if you like it, you can continue. But if not, thanks for giving it a shot. And thank you, Linda, for making that happen. Really appreciate it. There it is. It seems like I'm here. I have a mimic. Adventures with Beth. Yeah, I said you were here. Didn't I? I gave you a shout out, didn't I, first? John thinks he's here. Oh, does he? Oh, does he? John Temperin is here. Don't see the other John, but that's okay. The Johns aren't fully represented, but we got John Temperin here, so that's a good start. And just thank you all for being here, being a part of the journey, as always. So, all right, we're going to get to the Discord, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fun segment for me. This is one I started a long time ago. And then Chucky stepped up and said that he'd take care of it, and he's done a much better job than I did. He really did. I did try to reach out to him to see if he was going to be able to be on tonight, but I didn't get an answer, so I guess he's busy, and that's fine. I got to get a little more organized and ask him before it's the time. I literally thought, it's half hour till showtime. I should see if Chucky can come on. Whereas I should be like working a week ahead and scheduling these things better. But God bless him. He does an amazing job, and he's been at this for a while, doing way better than I ever did with this segment. So, and again, the Discord question of the week is available to everybody that's on the Discord. Just feel free to join the Discord if you haven't already. The link is in the description. Rachel's been posting the link over here in the chats, so watch for that if you're not familiar with it. But the URL is a static URL, and all you got to do is go to https://discord.gg, 2 G's, /paranormal portal. And that literally is our Discord server. Join it, and I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see what it looks like. But I also want you to know that it's time for Question of the Week. That was me trying to do a deep voice. Did it work? Did I freak you out a little bit? Kind of freaked me out, actually. But let's see. Got there. Wizard Moon, up, arrow. Okay, I'm just seeing what you guys are typing here. Before I was just not scrolled up to the currents. But here is the Discord server, ladies and gentlemen. When you first join, you're going to be in the General tab right here. And you can just use your mouse wheel to scroll up and down. We've got new people popping in all the time, and it's great to see you guys. Thank you, everyone who's joined up so far. And to any of the new people, please feel free. We'd love to have you over here. The different topics are literally on the left margin here. You just click on them. You want to see what people have been talking about Dogman, sharing links and stuff. Use your mouse wheel, scroll up, check it out. There's tons of amazing stuff here. Ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, extraterrestrial encounters, cryptids, even music. People have posted some incredibly cool music. I found some great bands on here, and I really enjoy it. Strange Phenomena. Looks like Aleister Crowley, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty wild. And, Strange Phenomena, different articles and websites people have found. Even library for books, Paranormal Library, dealing with books that deal with paranormal. Movies, art gallery, humor, kitchen, pets. It's all in here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. What the hell is that? Purple. Purple Nurple just had a molt. You named it Purple Nurple. Oh no, that brings back bad memories. The Purple Nurple. I grew up with 2 older brothers, so yeah, I'm well acquainted with Purple Nurples. Wasn't a fun part of my childhood, I'll just say that. But the question of the week is right here, folks. And this is where how come I got two of them? Question of the week, what? Suggestions. Oh, there's a suggestions thread. So if you have an idea for a question of the week to be asked, you can put it in here for Chucky to review. And here's the actual question of the week. I'm going to sneeze here in a second, I think. Not yet. All right. I go better. So we're going to ask this question of the week and see what everybody had to say. There is still time if you still haven't answered, but we've got several answers to get through here. So if you want to weigh in on this, you can still do so. Probably if you can type. If you can't type, you might want to just sit this one out. All right, question of the week. Since the rollout of AI videos on Sasquatch, there's been a significant decrease in current Sasquatch encounters. Do you think that this technology has put the subject into a modern dark age stigma because everyone will claim AI? What are your thoughts on current Sasquatch experiences? That's a great question. And we've certainly seen that as we've been doing the what the hell is that segment. Some people are just right away, that's AI, obviously AI. And it's a safe bet that a lot of stuff we are seeing is AI generated, and fair enough. But is everything? Could everything be? Well, I mean, it's literally, there's got to be some stuff out there. And certainly you can look at things that were posted well before AI. But even before AI, there was hoaxes and computer generated graphics and stuff. So it is possible that, there is literally stuff. Brent just said, what the hell is that? Which is another portion of the show, but he said it regarding something else, not the show part. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm saying most of the time, Nate. So that doesn't even surprise me. But yes, AI is ruining things. However, I will tell you this, that I think it's one of the browsers. Is it DuckDuckGo? You can actually scan and have it remove AI content. So if you're doing a search on Bigfoot videos, you can tell it to remove AI content. And I guess it does an active scan on different links and won't include ones that are generated by AI. So there does seem to be some filtering options coming out, which is really good because I think AI is ruining a ton of stuff. I use AI all the time in my show thumbnails and stuff, but that's just because I'm not a designer and I can't afford to buy a designer, So I got to use the tools that I have available, and that's fine. I'm trying to straighten out my camera with my foot here. There we go. That's a little more balanced and even. But at any rate, let's see what you guys had to say about this question. I think it's a perfectly timely question and a great curiosity to see what you guys said. Annie Manul comes in first and says, I think AI in some ways cleaning up Bigfoot sightings. I think AI is in some ways cleaning up Bigfoot sightings. The fakers are more likely to turn to AI fakes because that's the easy way out when it comes to making fakes. Real Bigfoot encounters will still have all the gritty roughness of the real thing. This doesn't rule out old style fakes or AI improving. For now, we get roughly made recordings of sightings that are likely to be genuine. While there be stigma, yes. Or will there be stigma? Okay. But there always was, but belief in Bigfoot has been growing since 2020, according to civicscience.com. So the stigma against believing in Bigfoot has declined despite the advent of AI. It's also growing with younger generations who are more AI savvy than their elders. Yeah, there's definitely merit to everything you just said, sure. Great thoughts. Gasman comes in next. Says, AI has pushed cryptids in general into a wider platform, causing more of a saturation in social media as well as mainstream media, for better or for worse. It's in the eye of the beholder. I personally believe it's helped to dilute the sample group, shall we say. Now it takes more time and effort to find something that might be legit. This taking away from fresh eyes aspect of evidence collection and analysis. Long story short, it hurts the overall quest for legitimate discovery. Sure it does, because it's the easy release. Oh, Lori Gibbs, thank you so much. gifted a membership to the show. It looks like Shade Viking 7 got the membership. So congratulations, Shade Viking. You're a 30-day member of the show. And thank you so much, Lori, for gifting that. That's really, really cool. Really appreciate it. So great thoughts. Yeah, I appreciate that, Gas Man. All right, let's go to Eric the Wandering Purple Hobbit, AI or Newt. I think he meant not. People will claim everything is fake. I'm surprised some idiot hasn't claimed the Patterson footage wasn't AI. I'm sure if you showed a group of people who'd never seen it before, that would be the first reaction. No, that's definitely AI. Clearly that's AI. Even though it was filmed in 1967, October of 1967. I think it was October 23rd, 1967. Bluff Creek, California, yeah. There weren't no AIs back then, as far as I know, as far as anybody knows. So it wasn't AI, edited by aliens in a time machine. FCOL. I don't know what that means, but AI will be used to push a lot of nonsense and used by those in power for manipulation, new technology, old ideas. Yeah, great thoughts, I guess. Certainly there's probably going to be official representations of AI that are meant to confuse the truth. I can see that happening for sure. That's a great point. Let's see what Wonder Woman had to say, because she's next. A decrease in Bigfoot interest could be from the saturation point on social media and entertainment venues. You've got to ask yourself the question. Gets a little old. Repeated nighttime visits in glowing green footage in the woods to hear a grown man ask, "Did you hear that?" and become experts after never, ever setting eyes on Bigfoot. You can tell who is only concerned with clicks or followers. AI needs a required watermark. Amen. I've been saying that for a long time now. Appreciate the earnest seekers of Bigfoot truth. Yeah, absolutely. There's certainly that merit I think is going to be necessary. And again, it could be just one pixel that's considered a key pixel, and it could be hidden anywhere in the image, but it would be available for filtering and determining if something you're looking at is AI rendered or not. It could just be one pixel out of millions of pixels in an image that triggers that scanner to go, oh yeah, this was definitely generated by AI. Yeah, I think that would be great. We need that kind of ability to filter these things for sure. And it's too bad that the technology was rolled out prior to those safeguards being rolled in. But I'm sure it'll be implemented at some point, because something's going to happen where somebody's AI deepfake is going to end up getting somebody really hurt or killed. And then it's going to become a mandatory law that AI has to be filterable and watermarked in some way that can be determined as AI. BJ Lapierre comes in and says, I think that AI is destroying all credibility for the real proof out there of not only Bigfoot, but Dogman, ghosts, and UFOs. Even if it's a real photo or video, the first response people have now is it has to be the AI. Good pictures or video, or poor quality pictures or video, it doesn't matter. Someone will say it's AI either way. I'm also tired of the AI ruining the enjoyment of wondering what is real out there, or the possibility that something really does exist. I think that all AI pictures and videos should be forced to have a disclaimer on them stating that it is AI generated images or video, watermark then or something. It isn't fair to those out there that have real proof via pictures and videos. It is just hard enough as it is when you have something good and people put it down because they don't believe. But throw AI in the mix and those same non-believers just eat it up and use that as their proof that nothing out there exists anymore. Because everything is AI. Just wait in that Patterson Gimlin footage video. One of these days, someone out there will try to claim that too is fake. Well, they have. There's been many people actively trying to debunk that since it came out in the early generation of its appearance. People were already attacking it and have pretty consistently ever since. But it still stands up to scrutiny because, there wasn't any level of faking like AI or computer graphic or computer generated imagery. Nothing like that was out there in 1967. Hell, a lot of Hollywood special effects people have come forward, and like Bill Munns, who did the creature designs for Planet of the Apes back then. He said we don't have these kind of materials. We don't have the kind of materials that would create that bodysuit. So pretty amazing that it stood up against all scrutiny, at least for most of us. Some people just bow out and they're like, yeah, it's clearly fake. And that's fine. You're never going to convince a skeptic anyway. Unless they see it for themselves in real time, they're just not going to believe. All right, let me get out of there so I can not see it in gaming mode. Android Paranormal comes in next. Because of AI, it will come down to one thing to determine if a video or photo is credible or not. It means unless the person is posting the video or photo is willing to provide a hard copy of the file with the metadata, like in a cloud storage link, then it will eventually be possible to determine if it's a real photo or video or not. However, that might be a good thing in the long run. The internet does not currently demand that now, so if that becomes the new standard to prove your photo is not AI, then that would be a clear-cut way to distinguish the wheat from the chaff. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it would be nice if there was some kind of metrics to challenge these claims, because there's so many claims out there, and there's so many people pushing a bunch of crap saying that it's real. And that's one of the reasons I started What the Hell Is That? Because I was seeing so much crap. And it was heartbreaking because not only that the crap was out there, it's always been out there. What broke my heart the most was the people that were willing to jump onto any idea somebody threw out there, and they were willing to certify that it was real. And these are just, everyday people. They were like, I believe it. I can see 50 squatches in those bushes looking at you. They love you. It's like, oh my God, stop it. You don't have any basis for any of those speculative claims. You can have psychic impressions all day long, but you can't substantiate those. And those can't be evidence in and of themselves. You can swear they're true, and maybe you're right, but it's just another idea until you can substantiate it with some kind of evidence. You can't dismiss the need for evidence. We do need evidence, and we do need to challenge evidence, even through the eyes of a skeptic. I think that's important. But there's still a long road to haul this stuff down. Josh Casto's coming next. AI is cool, but not cool in so many ways. It's stupid, LOL. But to the question, doubtful on the modern dark age, could be just a coincidence. Sightings do raise and lower throughout the years. Kind of like work. Production can increase and drop rapidly. Everything raises and lowers in all aspects, but is AI to blame for the lack of sightings? I doubt it. But there is a chance it makes people think if they share this, their photos, etc., trolls will hound them claiming it's AI. Maybe not, maybe. Yeah, I think that's really always been a liability. I've seen pieces of evidence that were absolutely amazing. I've seen with my own eyes people presented evidence. They showed me their evidence. And I was like, wow, this is really incredible. If what you're saying is true, this is amazing. But they just don't want to reach the public eye. They don't want to enter that gauntlet of attacks that are bound to happen. Once you provide evidence, you're going to get attacked. You're going to get challenged. There's going to be people that'll just attack you because you're the newest face on the block, and they're just going to come at you. And I think it has to do with the egos. Has to do with the egos that are involved in the communities, if you will. Everybody wants to be the guy or the girl or the people on top of the pile. And there doesn't need to be so much of a rivalry in this stuff because we just don't know what the hell it is. ZX81V2 metadata can be changed if you know what you're doing. It can't be used as proof thanks to format hackers. Sure. Rachel101 says, I do think AI is helping separate fake videos from the real. It is helping create a more critical eye for viewers. True. One thing AI will not change is the audio content of the eyewitness telling you their own story. And those are more compelling as the listener creates the scenes of the true events in their mind. Yeah, I mean, it's still, the thing with Thing with that is it still requires a leap of faith that you believe the witness, that you believe the account they're giving you is truly an organic account and not just a creative fabrication. I think there's some pretty compelling storytellers out there that have, put some amazing tales out there in the public interest. I don't believe all of them are true, or maybe not in the form that they're presented. There might be truth in them, but sometimes people can really embellish things and really blow it up because they want their encounter to be eye-opening and impressive. And so if it's just across the road, suddenly becomes, it leaped across the road, it hung under the hood of my car and it growled at me. It's like, oh wow. So people tend to exaggerate. That's always a liability as well. Last up, we got John T. AI will be the downfall of a lot more than Bigfoot. Plus, I think more emphasis is on the other cryptids like Dogman and crawlers, etc. Yeah, there certainly is a ton of stuff out there that it could be. It's pretty crazy, but I think I think it'll all get streamlined in the matter of time. Like everything else, when a new technology emerges, it creates a huge imbalance in the world around it. I mean, it just does. That means, like, even when VCRs came out, everybody was afraid of them. If they were in the, the movie business and, all of that, they were sure that this was the downfall of Hollywood. And it turned out to be quite the opposite. It turned out to cause people to go to more movies and to spend more money on movies because, it just raised interest in movies as a pastime. So, and a lot of new technologies come out and it creates an imbalance, but there does come a balance at some point. Maybe the AI will be the same. It's certainly an incredibly flexible tool that can do a lot. It can do a lot. And maybe that's the scary part, is there's no real guardrails on it. Like you can do even things it's not supposed to answer. You can format your questions in such a way as it'll answer even what is largely considered forbidden topics. And that's good, bad, I don't know. I'm not really big on censorship. I think if somebody wants information, they should have some kind of access to it, but I don't think we need thought police in the world, but there's plenty of people that do. So I don't know. The time will tell, I guess. Great question, though. I love the ideas and the concepts, the exploration of thoughts on this. You guys are amazing. And that's why I love this segment, because it really does raise a lot of questions. And that's why many people sharing ideas and thoughts about an idea really help to explode possibilities. So nice job, everybody. Thank you so much for all of you who took the time to weigh in on the question of the week. Well, let's get back to the rest of our journey tonight, because it's time. There we go. Discord question of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Let me turn off that so it doesn't come up every time, because it will. It will. If you've been hanging around me, you know what's going to happen. All right, so I got an article here I want to get through, and then we'll hit the what the hell is that, and maybe a cryptid corner if we get time. But if not, don't worry, because what the hell is that always has cryptids as well. It's always a part of our stuff. So let's get to this article, though. I really wanted to cover this tonight, because I even picked the picture for the show off of it. Where is it? Here it is. This is an article from Phantoms and Monsters, ladies and gentlemen. This is a newer one, coming from December 29th, 2025, just the end of last year. And it's a cool little article. I love articles dealing with fae, little people, encounters. I think these are very underreported or underdiscussed. And fair enough, it's not a place where everybody can get to. I mean, believing there's a huge hairy hominid in the woodlands, not a big stretch. Believing there's little mini people living out there among us, it seems like a much harder benchmark to pass for most people. A lot of people just can't fold their ideas around the fact that there could be gnome-like creatures or goblins or, other little diminutive people living around us that we're, I guess, largely unaware of. But our ancestors believed they were out there. And there is truth to every legend to some degree. And I don't know that our legends correctly explain the nature of these things. Maybe they do. We just don't know. But they don't get acknowledged hardly at all in this modern age, and haven't for quite some time. But that doesn't mean there isn't something to this phenomena that people are actively experiencing. So we're going to go to this article. This is, again, from phantomsandmonsters.com. I talked to you about Lon earlier. And when you hear this article, you'll understand why you're going to want to check out phantomsandmonsters.com, as well as his live stream at Phantoms and Monsters Radio. So here we go. Here's the article. Fae and Little People encounters across California, Minnesota, and beyond. So I love that picture. That's really cool. That's a cool picture. Between the 1980s and the late 1990s, multiple witnesses from California, Minnesota, and other regions described strikingly similar accounts or encounters with small humanoid beings commonly associated with the Fae, gnomes, or little people. Ooh, Josh, rolling deep. Thank you, brother. You guys are so incredible. My God. I've always said this. I don't deserve you guys, but I'm so glad you're here. Josh Casto gifted 5 memberships to the channel. Looks like Owl Woman got one. Looks like Vincent Nijger got one. Frampo got one. Chris Carlson got one. As did 3M Farms. So there we go. That's a lot of gifted memberships. Thank you very much. You all are 30-day members to the show. And hope you like it. If you do, please feel free to continue. If not, thanks for giving it a shot. And special thanks to Josh Casto, Cryptical Crossroads, for making that happen. I really do appreciate it. And check out Josh's show, Cryptical Crossroads. It's his new podcast he's been working on. And he needs your love and support over there. So find him on YouTube, Cryptical Crossroads. Give him a subscribe. So wonderful. Thank you, Josh. Let's get back to this article. So associated with Fae's, gnome, or little people, these experiences often occurred during childhood or liminal states of awareness and left a lasting emotional imprint. When viewed collectively, the reports suggest a recurring phenomena that challenges the boundary between folklore, psychology, and anomalous reality. Over several decades, witnesses from different locations and family backgrounds have described encounters with diminutive humanoid beings that share consistent physical and behavioral traits. One of the earliest accounts dates to the 1980s when a young girl returning from cheerleader camp observed a small leprechaun-like figure peering from behind a tree as her bus passed through a wooded area. The entity smiled and winked before vanishing. The witness retained only a brief memory of the event, yet the excitement with which she recounted it to her twin suggests a moment of profound impact. In rural California near Porterville, a mother woke in the late 1990s to find a 3-foot-tall figure standing at the foot of the bed she shared with her children. The being appeared aged with exaggerated facial features, shaggy blonde hair, dark eyes, and a tattering of clothing. Dobby is free. The witness experienced complete paralysis until her young son screamed, at which point the entity vanished instantly. Years later, after viewing an episode of Monsters and Mysteries, the witness recognized similarities to a regional gnome reports connected to the Porterville area. Yeah, I remember that episode of Monsters and Mysteries in America, and yeah, that was a creepy one, dealing with a red-cap gnome. A red-cap gnome is basically the garden gnomes that everybody has statues of, but apparently the red-cap ones hate people, hate us. Like they are absolutely aggressive and diabolical towards us. They don't like us. I don't know why, but they got pissed off at us at some point in history, and that dislike continues to this day. So if you see a little diminutive person with a red hat, be extraordinarily careful. They don't like us, and they're very aggressive towards us. So let's continue. Another multi-generational account comes from a family of Irish descent As a child, the witness's father, who suffered from severe night terrors, observed 3 to 4 inch tall, bearded man beneath his brother's bed. The figure wore green clothing and a pointed hat and appeared to emit a bright green luminescence. No fear or malice was perceived. In a related account, the witness's aunt recalled seeing a small woman in her mother's garden, further suggesting a familial or cultural continuity tied to Irish folklore traditions. In Northern California, near Mount Shasta, a couple experienced a more disturbing encounter. After returning from the trip, they discovered unexplained activity in their remote home. Both later awoke from sleep, describing identical to paralysis dreams involving dark, swirling entities that were restraining them. The shared nature of the experience led the witness to believe that they were dealing with an intelligent presence associated with the Fae rather than a conventional dream state. Other accounts emphasize prolonged interaction during childhood. One witness described years of playing with invisible yet faintly blue-colored gnomes, led by a taller figure perceived as their leader. As the witness matured, the appearances diminished until the final farewell occurred during a family trip to Walt Disney World, when the leader figure appeared to leap from the car window and disappear, symbolically marking the end of the encounters. A similar childhood experience occurred in Minneapolis in the mid-1990s. A young child woke to find dozens of tiny glowing gnome-like beings running through the house. They appeared only a few inches tall, moved rapidly, and seemed unconcerned with the witness's presence. The event was vivid enough that the child ran downstairs to wake their parents, and by the time the adults arrived, the entities had vanished. Across all reports, the witnesses emphasize clarity of perception, emotional intensity, and the enduring realism of the experience, even decades later. Now, there is some commentary and notes from Lon. Several notable patterns emerge across these cases. Most encounters occurred during childhood or transitional states between sleep and wakefulness, yet many involved multiple witnesses or shared perceptions, reduced the likelihood of isolated dream imagery. The emotional tone ranges from curiosity and awe to fear and paralysis, but overt hostility is largely absent. Graphic clustering is minimal, though regions such as Central California and Northern California recur in broader Fae and Little People folklore. Familial patterns and cultural heritage, particularly Irish ancestry, may play a role, echoing long-standing traditions that describe such entities as land-attached or lineage-aware. From an investigative standpoint, possible interpretations include interdimensional manifestations, ultra-terrestrial intelligence, culturally filtered non-human encounters, or conscious-based phenomena that interact more readily with children. The consistency of form, size, and behavior across unrelated witness suggests something more complex than imagination alone. That was from Lon. I think there's something to these reports. I think that they're not just coming out of nowhere. They're coming from somewhere. And it could be some awareness, again, cultural awareness, that is more multidimensional. Maybe it's more telepathic than it is physical. I don't know. It's very curious. Or more pineal than it is physical. Maybe that's a better representation, because a lot of them are actually being observed. But if they're not actually appearing or seem to kind of be appearing, maybe it has to do with the pineal gland. I don't know. I find that very, very interesting and cool, but I love these reports because, again, these reports are as common as, our ancestral stories of these things. Maybe not as common as our ancestors talked about, but the fact that they seem to follow families is very interesting. And that might have more to do with families' innate ability to perceive them. So perhaps from Irish lineages, there's some born-in tendency to be able to see these things because it's something their ancestors observed regularly. Just food for thought. Oh, that snapping plastic reminded me. That's my version of Stairway to Heaven. Did you hear it? Like it's an instrument. Like it's an instrument. It's not an instrument. But it is refreshing. There you go. I think this article is very cool. I love these kind of articles. They don't come up incredibly often, but when they do, I think they're fascinating. We don't have a lot of detail from these individual reports in here, other than vague location. But I still think that that's fascinating. I'd love to see more comprehensive versions of these reports, though. I think there's something to this stuff. I don't know what for sure it is. I don't even know if it's for sure a part of our realm or if it's some, frequency thing where they're kind of here and they're kind of in another realm, a foot in each world, if you will. But I think it's fascinating stuff. Very, very fascinating stuff. But that was, again, phantomsandmonsters.com, ladies and gentlemen. Great site. Thanks for drinking your H2O, Brent. Your thirst-quenching requirements remind me to get a drink from the fridge. You're absolutely welcome, Nate. Glad to help encourage better health wherever I go. I'm obviously the poster child of good health. Not really. But I'm working on it a little bit. The Fae has been a blanket term for angels or fallen ones. I don't think that that's necessarily true, Ramon. I know that that's a very Christian consideration, that everything that's not, of the divine realm is just evil. I don't think it's quite that simple, though, personally. But I respect your right to believe that. I don't know, though. For me personally, I don't agree, but I can't really defend it, and I can't say you're right. I can't say you're wrong, but I guess I just believe a little different. Brent is so kind, I can adopt him too. Well, I think I'm probably past that prime adoption age. Ben from Oz is in here. Good to see you, Ben from Oz. That's I think a new name, unless it's a rebrand. I don't know. Little People, one of the top things not to mess with on the res. Yeah, RJ, when are you going to get in touch with me and get on the show? We should be talking about a lot of those stories. If you can. I mean, I don't want to obviously force you or push you. How you doing, Jackie Hall? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. As always, good to see you. And Joanne is here. So people coming all the time here on the portal, folks. But I think it's going to be time to get to the next part of our show. And this has been a fun one. I hope you guys agree. Again, there's two spirits were just here hanging out. One over in the corner over there and one just to my forward right there. For how long were they here? Only about 37 seconds. Man, that was quite a visit. I guess they like the little people stories too. Maybe they're little people. B. Arthur. Who's Stanley Zbornak? I don't know who that is. I don't know who Stanley Zbornak is, flat sixer. But I see the B. Arthur. God bless you, Dave, wherever you are. All right, let's get to the next segment, though. Let's go exploring. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? This is a segment where we, provide you guys with some ideas, maybe evidence of sorts. Some of it looks pretty good. Some of it looks pretty bad. Some of it's clearly manufactured or hoaxed. Some of it looks like it might be the real deal. But part of this segment is I want to include you guys in this in the form of voting. Again, last night even the Ghost Box voted with us. The Ghost Box was in on a ghost photograph, and it was not believing what we were looking at was real. Because it said 0 right on cue once I asked for voting. So the Ghost Box weighs in once in a while. B. Arthur's ex-husband in the show. Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I wasn't that intimately familiar with the Golden Girls. But, okay. Gotcha. Thanks. Everybody knew that except me, apparently. I gotcha. Yep, they helped you out, Flat Sixer. They brought it home. That's comedic hero material. It really was. It was so incredibly timely. I literally sat here with chills just rushing all over my body. I'm like, oh my God, that's incredible. Right on cue, I said, okay, guys, time to vote. Give me a 0 if it's not real. Give me a 1 if it's real. What do you think? And right on cue, the ghost box said 0. I was just like, yeah. You know, that was a little bit amazing. A little bit amazing. It's just the odd of that happening, just by algorithm, or just beyond possibility. It would just trigger with an appropriate term at the exact right time. It's just like, nope, that's way beyond. Gotta go. Love you. See you, D. Thanks for stopping in. That was funny. But let's get to this. I've got several videos and images pulled up for our review. And this first one comes from Josh Casto. I think this is the one Josh sent me. It's from Cryptid University. Why is that so weird? Hold on. I'm going to minimize this so it's not so big behind it. There we go. Cryptid University. A dark cryptid-looking creature was filmed walking into a cave in Mexico. And here it is on your screen right now. Again, Cryptid University is the source. Let me pull it down so it's all in frame. There we go. Let's take a look at this. It is a video. So let me go back to the beginning. There's the alleged creature. Tell me what you guys think. Here we go. Playing it now. There's no sound, so if you're not hearing anything, it's nothing wrong with your speakers. There's just no sound to this clip. But it's apparently from April the 12th of 2001. Again, if that's legitimate, at 6:17 p.m., if that's legitimate, that's pre-AI, but is it real? Well, see what you guys think. Looks like one of those sheep squatch, doesn't it? It's a very deliberate walk, though. And I can't make it any bigger than what you're seeing there, folks, but it's definitely got the curly sheep horns cooking on both sides of the head. The head actually looks oversized for the body. But there it is. Do you think this might be real? What am I looking at? That's the question, Ben. Ben from Oz. That's the question. What are you looking at? So if you think this might be real, give me a 1 in chat. If you think it's not real, give me a 0 or give me a decimal place to let me know where you're at. Ben from Oz says 0.4. That's not a bipedal stance. Well, it's got the swinging arms and it's on 2 legs. So a little bit of a forward lean, but it is going up the hill. I mean, it is bipedal by definition, but it does seem a little odd with its proportions. It doesn't look necessarily human, but that could be a costume design just to have built down legs. Putting the hip displacement like in mid thigh rather than all the way up. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So what do you think? Let's see. You got a lot of nopes. Where is this? Interesting. Looks human until it doesn't. All right. Let me go back and get these votes here. A lot of you guys. Where are we? That's not a bipedal stance. Okay. Hooking Good Creations by Tina. Nope. Jackie Hall. Nope. Nathan Nate. Nope. Annie Manuel's not buying this. Yeshua is not either. I think it's a suit as well. Nate. Yeah. Could very well be. The head looks oversized to me. T-Bones in at nope. 0.499 from John Temprin. Just shy of halfway. Joanne is nope on this one. Rachel gets it right. Nope. It walked like a human with a load in its pants. Nope, says Beth, with the load in its pants. Wizard Moon, nope. Ramon says 20. I don't know what that means. You think it's really, really, really real? I don't know what that means. Looks human until it doesn't. 0.75 from Caitlin. 0 from author illustrator BJ Lapierre. Where is this? This was in Mexico. It says Mexico. Zero, there are actually two videos. Is there another video that we're not seeing that's attributed to this, RJ? This is what it looks like, one uncut video. It's just a zoom in, watching it go into the cave, and boom, that's kind of it. It goes in the cave, and that's it. But I don't see that it's two videos spliced. That's not what I'm seeing, but anyway, I appreciate your input. Karen Alberding, nope. Phil Funk, nope. I feel like a creature like that wouldn't swing its arms like that. Interesting. Okay. That's pretty common with all bipedal locomotion, though. It's a kind of a weight balance, weight distribution thing. It has to do with balancing. But maybe you're right. It's a real dude in a goat suit, said Flat Sixer. Looks kind of like that to me, too, honestly. 0 from Hoggle, 0 from Flat Sixer, 20 again from Ramon. Delilah says, laugh out loud, no. Walked like my mother when she was mad, said Beth. It walks quicker at the cave. Let's see that. Maybe it does. I'm going to examine that now. Looks like it. Yeah, maybe it was pushed ahead. It might have just been steeper before that. Like right there, it might be a little steeper, and then it kind of planes off so it could pick up speed. I don't know. There might be a bit of a grade variation there that could account for the speed differential, but I don't know. There's no way to really tell with all the shrubbery there, for sure. But that's a good observation, Ben. Thank you. Daryl Stanley, nope. And Elaine says nope. And I think 0000 from Phil Funk. Okay, yeah, Mexico. I'm changing my answer to the square root of -I. -I. Okay. Whatever that is, I can't even help you there. That's too much math for me. All right, let's see what the Rumble said. Stupid Cobra, I mean. Zero definitely walks like a human in costume. That's the way it's swinging its arms. Barbara Morris says 0. So this looks like Justin and Barbara and Dog Digger all are not convinced this is real over in Rumble. I think, it's interesting, but I think, yeah, it's most likely someone in a suit. The proportions are really weird. It's certainly not a powerfully built animal if it is a creature. The head is much too large for that frame. And I can't imagine that would be a advantageous biological configuration for something to survive really well. With that much extra weight in the head, a small neck supporting it. Even with the ram horns, if it's got horns like that, it's like historically, in nature, when they have horns like that, they're meant to collide with other things with horns. But with that neck, that would fold up like origami if he hit his head into something. Just not built for it. But at any rate, yeah, I'm not really into this one either. I think it's a great video, don't get me wrong, but that's the first one tonight. Thank you guys for voting. Let's get to the next one. Time for video number 2. Thank you, Josh, for throwing that out.
By his motion.
Oh, my God. This is going to be a really obnoxious, loud one, I guess. This one is interesting. This is sent to me by Chucky from Down the Rabbit Hole. I don't think I'm going to be able to play the sound because there's clearly a pretty robust musical score underneath it. And that's going to kill me in the algorithm and the YouTube copyright stuff. So I'm going to have to mute it. I will just tell you, watch the fox. It's a fox that the guy kind of befriended and started feeding. The fox does something really weird. It says it shows a fox walking right through a fence. How did that happen? Is there a logical explanation for this? Did the fox wait to match the vibration of the fence in order to pass through it? Interesting thoughts. That's the subtext. Let's take a look right here. I can't really make it much bigger. I don't think. Let me just see if I can glide this over a little bit. No, I really can't do much. It's not letting me resize this. This is literally about as big as I can make it. Maybe a little bit bigger if I stretch this window. All right, here it is. Let's take a look. I muted it, so I apologize for that. There's the fox eating. Got the mouse letting us know where it is. Yep, that's a fox. That's the fox right there. It's frozen frame. Now it's back rolling, smelling around. It kind of turns its attention in that direction. It's looking, goes towards the fence, and then keep an eye on it. This is a picture of the fence from a different angle, daytime. Goes right through. How did that happen? That is curious. A little close up this time. Take another look at it. See what you think. It's looking, eaten, looks over, starts to become aware of something to its left, turns, gets close, and they froze it, and then boom. Goes right through that fence. That's really incredible. That's really incredible capture. A lot of times I would say, look, it's a function of those sensors on security cameras. They're not meant to be capturing, 60 frames a second or something. They're like maybe 2 or 3. They just need to capture what's there, and maybe more than that. But you know what I'm saying. Not real robust. That's extremely close up. Shows it going through. And then you see like the boards are there. All of the boards are there. There's another close up of the fence. I don't know. What do you guys think? Kitsune. Yeah, no kidding. Japanese fox spirit. Yeah. I think it's surprising. I don't know what to make of it. I don't see a gap in there either before or after it passes through. Could it be AI? Sure. There's a dark spot like hole where it goes through. Is there? I don't know if there is or not. So what do you guys think? Give it a vote. AI generated, says Broski. Maybe. Could be. I'm not saying that's not possible. This certainly is a more modern video. Could be AI'd, sure. But it is interesting how it goes towards that fence. Shoots through. Once it's through, it's like the boards kind of go from blurry to reformed behind it. It's almost like a little wormhole opened up, or a little portal. So what do we got? 0.5 from Yeshua. What do we got? AI generated. Broski says either AI, maybe it's the spirit of a fox. Hoggle says, sure, maybe it's a spirit fox, sure. 0.5, this one confuses me. Fair enough. It does me too. Wizard Moon 0.5. There's so many questions that we can't ask or respond to. We just have to look at it and try to draw our own conclusions, and that's the hard part. Caitlin says, I think it might be AI, but nothing is outside the realm of possibilities. Maybe he does want to match the vibration of the fence. 0.5. Yeah, it's certainly possible. I don't pretend to know what's possible or what's not. Rachel gets it right, 0.5. Annie Manul, 0.5. Hoggle, 0.5. 0 AI from Hook and Good Creations by Tina. 0.5 from BJ Lapierre. Clean Shot, Hard One, 0.5 from Ben from Oz. Jackie Hall, 0.5. 0.625 from Josh Casto of Cryptical Crossroads. We need more on this one. Yeah, we do. There's a lot of question marks for sure. Want to believe, but these kids upload fake content all the time, unfortunately. Fair enough. I'm not real familiar with Down the Rabbit Hole, but you could be absolutely right. I just don't know. What would it look like if real? I don't know. I guess like that, probably. I don't know if you'd expect some kind of light fanfare before it phases through something, or if it would just be that. It just kind of melts into the fence. Looked like when his head was in the dark before he went through, his head was in the fence. Yeah, it is curious. The only thing I'll say is the image that it does show of the fence in daylight, there does look to be like a board right here that looks brand new, or a lot newer than the other boards. So it makes me think, is there some boards that were replaced? Maybe they were loose and it was able to push through, and then it would just look like it was whole again. I don't know. I did see that and wondered if that could be something. 0.5 from T-Bone. Netting? No, it's not netting. It's a wooden fence. Good night. I'm off to bed. Good night, Bonnie. Thank you for being here. It was a pleasure seeing you. Thanks for giving it a shot. What do we got? Anything else? All right, let's go over to Rumble. Dog Digger. Nope. Stupid. Cobra, 0.5 from Barbara Mora. I don't think Justin Goodearth has voted on this one. That's okay. He might be busy. Elaine Clifford, 0. Calzone time. Gotta eat. Go eat, Josh. Enjoy your calzone. calzone, whatever. Enjoy that. But there's the new board. See that one? That real lighter one? That's the one that makes me wonder if it maybe pushed through a bad board that was since replaced. That's certainly a possibility, but there's just not enough to see really what's going on. It looks pretty good though, honestly. It looks like it could be something really fascinating. But anyway, that's that one. Let's get on to the next one. Let me close that one. Thank you, Josh, for that video before. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chucky, for this one. Here we go. What was this one? I don't remember what this one was. I pulled it up a while ago. This is, again, the haunted side. I like this guy's videos. Again, this channel, the guy does investigations as well, and they're really pretty good. They're really pretty good investigations. I really do like them. I like watching what they do, and he investigates with another guy, and they've gone to some locations that are just incredibly active and captured what I think is some really good evidence. But check it out. The Haunted Side is a channel on YouTube. It's also that's where this is from. So let's check this out. My cyber truck caught this on dash cam. And again, he's responding to this. This isn't his video, but he's responding to it, and that's what we're going to do is watch him respond to the video.
I was driving one night when something unexplainable happened.
There's no one here.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
No one in this corner. Look at this. Still, nobody here. Look at my left camera.
Where'd that guy
As he
come from?
approaches the stop sign, no one can be seen standing in the middle of the road or on the side of it. But once he stops, a man seemingly appears out of nowhere. And as he drives off, the man gestures almost like he's upset that the guy driving didn't see him. But
Yeah, why didn't you see you? Because you're freaking invisible. What the hell is that?
even after looking at all the camera angles his car recorded, he still couldn't find a trace of this mysterious man.
Look at that,
And
though.
no,
The guy doesn't have like a hand. And that might be just a camera seam, but it's like he doesn't have a hand. It just stops right there. That's kind of interesting.
trace of this mysterious man. And no, he couldn't have been standing in a blind spot because his Tesla's radar didn't detect anyone around the vehicle. So just who was this man, and how did he appear out of thin air?
Weird.
He appeared out of nowhere.
All
This
right,
guy
so there you go. Strange guy appears. This is a Tesla Cybertruck. Teslas are famous for having cameras all over them. And a lot of people have been, when there was a lot of controversy surrounding Elon Musk, there was a bunch of, I guess, social justice warriors going around and keying Teslas and unfortunately finding themselves being preserved really well on camera and charged. So they are extraordinarily high tech in that regard. Where did that guy come from? Again, they say it didn't appear on camera, and also its proximity detectors, where it usually detects people, didn't even see this guy there. And suddenly he's there. Now, it doesn't mean the guy is somehow mystical, but maybe he didn't realize that he came from somewhere else too. I don't know. It's just throwing ideas at it. Glitch in the Matrix. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of weird. Maybe he just merged in from another dimensional existence. I don't know. The multiverse, if you will. I don't know what to make of it. But very, very cool video. I think it's fascinating. But the question is, what do you guys think? Time to vote. Let's see what you think. Ghostbox has been incredibly silent on the voting tonight. Give me a 1 if you think that that's really something fascinating that was captured, or a 0 if you think it's just some kind of misunderstanding. What do you think? Nate's just going to throw AI. You can't just throw AI at everything. Yes, it probably could be. It might be. Never know. But it doesn't look... I don't know. It looks like a Tesla video camera. The high contrast images, the really bright colors, that all really matches. Could it be AI generated? Sure. Everything could be. But I don't think we can answer everything as, well, it must be AI. It doesn't necessarily have to be. there's weird stuff that does go on around us. So let's see what's going on. Joanne thinks it might be real. Gotcha, Joanne. Okay, fair enough. Where are we at? Oh, man, I'm falling way behind here. Let's see. 0.5, Karen Alberding. 0 AI, Nathan Nate. Parallel Universe, Elaine. Fair enough. Looks like he's holding the phone in the one hand. He has. Yeah. 0.75 from Critical Crossroads. That's Josh, and Jackie Hall gives it a 1. 0.5 Adventures with Beth. 0.6 from Ben from Oz. 0 from Ramon. Not buying this one. And Annie's giving it a 0. Yeshua, 0.5. 1 from Joanne. T-Bone is giving it a 0.5 from Rachel. It seems very AI-like. Could be 0. But again, everything could be AI. Nathan Nate, LOL. That's not really an answer, Nate. I'm just kidding. I know you're laughing at something else. 0 from Wizard Moon. 0.5 Phil Funk. Spam from Twitch. 0 from Hook and Good Creations by Tina. Broski's giving it a 0. 0 times pi from Flat Sixer, which is still 0, no matter how many decimal places you use. 0.5 from John Temprin. Where is his hand? That's what I'm wondering. It's like it chops off right at just below the wrist. Yep, he's holding the phone. Sure. Maybe it's a remote control for all the dimensions he's rolling through. Elaine, howdy. 1 from Caitlin. Teslas are crazy. Yeah, they are. 0 from Daryl Stanley. Looks like that's the last vote over there. 0.75 from Justin Goodearth. Very strange. Absolutely. 0.75 weird from Dog Digger, and 1 from Barbara. So yeah, I think it might be something really crazy that just was captured. I don't think the guy's necessarily aware he just came from somewhere, but he might have just popped into that place. I don't know. These videos are really, really mind-numbing. They're really head-scratchers. There's a bunch of them out there. A lot of times it's cars just suddenly appearing. Like one car will make a left turn and suddenly there's, 3 cars that weren't there before just shooting out alongside of this left turning car. It's really crazy. And I think maybe those are, if they are real, maybe they're functions of the multiverse we live in. And sometimes realities just merge. And that's one of the breadcrumbs that we get to sample that. I don't know. Just a thought, but some cool footage. I like this one. I thought it was really fascinating. But let's check out the next one. There's 2 more that I got for you. Excuse me. This one I'm going to let you watch. I'm not going to tell you anything. It says 3 women were enjoying a normal ride in what looks like an amusement park until they captured something unexpected. Here's the video itself. Let's check this out. This comes from Scary Encounters on Instagram. This is a pretty cool video. I find this one fascinating, but see if you guys see it first of all. I'll just let it play.
I get that.
I'm going to mute it because it's just a bunch of screaming. Just watch it from not from the perspective we're watching now, but watch now. Keep watching. Something just changed. So the guy is holding the camera. And again, I'd play the sound, but it's obnoxious. It doesn't seem to have a volume on it. It's either on or off, and it's so loud I'm going to turn it down. Did you notice? Did you notice what happened? So they start rocking on this boat ride. Just a arcing thing, swinging back and forth. Look at there, 3 women. White shirt, pink shirt, or like a salmon shirt and then a pink shirt. The woman on the end looks a little funky. Kind of pans out, showing the guy and his girl in the pink shirt. Where'd the other girl go? Where's Mrs. White Shirt on the end? Unless she fell down to the floor, she's no longer present. So what do you guys think is going on here? Maybe I can do it this way. I could just... I'm going to turn down the volume a little bit. This one kind of creepy. Kind of creepy. I don't think you can switch places on a ride when it's going on. It's possible there was only 3 in that bench at any given time, but somebody decided to join them, is what I'm thinking. She's hanging on the side of the car. T-Bone says, looks like a child is sitting on the far side too, on the other side of the woman with the white shirt. I don't see that. No, I'm not seeing that. I mean, that last woman looks like she's right up to the end of that row. But she's just gone. Now she's not there any longer. And I don't know. It doesn't look, it looks like it was recorded with, the old flip phone kind of thing back in the day. Maybe maybe not a flip phone, but you know what I'm saying. It's not like a high-end new phone. This is probably 10 years ago, maybe. I don't know when it was filmed. It doesn't give us any background, but I find it really creepy. Now, what I also find creepy is look at the woman's face that's on the far side, and I'll try to pause it. She doesn't look quite right. She looks very pale, and there's something going on with her skin tone that's very unusual. Let me just wait till they get over here. When she looks over, trying to get a good shot here. There. I don't know. She looks, maybe not, but she looks like she doesn't have any eyebrows, which is a little weird. And then there's a white thing here. Maybe it's face painting. I don't know. But she looks happy. She's having a good time. Definitely wearing a white shirt. I mean, we should be seeing something of her, because they have these lap bars that kind of pin you in place on these kind of rides because they don't want you flying out. That's not good. Not a good look for any carnival to have people flying out. So you're kind of pinned in the seat. It's not like you can shuffle around. And then she's there, boom. And from then on, she's not there any longer. So where did she go? That's the creepy part. I think it's very, very creepy. That's an evil, happy face. Kind of is, Ramon. I got to tell you, I got kind of Lulu's when I'm looking at this lady on the end. That's there and then she's not. It's like weird. Let's see what people are saying. She jumped over the side, John Temperance says. All right. She just slumped down, I think. I don't think she could slump down far enough to remain off camera, considering that, she's got a lap belt on. You can only go so far forward unless she's really big in yoga or something. I don't know. She might be really flexible. It's possible there could be something mundane like that. I can't say that's not possible, but I don't know. It just looks really bizarre. Look at where those lap belts are. They're all the way up to right to their midsection. It's not like they have a lot of room to shimmy around. So Kitty Caddywhack is at halfway. Wizard Moon's all in. Elaine's all in. Henry Dog says 0.5 rather. 0.5 from Rachel. She jumped over the side. 0.5 from Daryl. 1 from Ramon. What do we got? Yes, Brent, that's definitely the face. Yeah. Ghost Riders in the Sky. Yeah. I mean, is it impossible to have a haunted ride? No, that makes sense to me. If somebody had a accident at an amusement park, they might just go for rides for the rest of their time. Who knows? Creepy ASF from Cryptical Crossroads. 0.5 from Adventures with Beth. That's an evil, happy face from Ramon. She is small. The other women aren't. It hid her. I don't think she's that small. She's almost equal to the size of the girl next to her. She's sitting a little lower, but not enough to be invisible, I don't think. Maybe, though. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just, that's certainly something to consider, I guess. Well, I've heard even lost nice souls can attach to people. Yeah, I suppose so. I don't see why not. They don't have to have evil intention. You just got to try to bond with somebody. Ghosts just want to have fun. Absolutely, Elaine. 0.5 from BJ Lapierre. You can move around on that ride if you're near the middle. You shouldn't be able to. If you can, that's very, very freaking dangerous. I don't know. I mean, that's not... I've been on rides like this many times with the boys. And when I was on them, I was pinned. It was like, yep, you're smashed against the seat. They don't want you moving around. Because eventually it almost goes upside down, or it does go upside down. And if you can move around, you're going for a ride that wasn't intended. Weirdo-Rama 2, says Joanne. 0.5 from Annie Manuel. Maria is here. Did you think it was a Maria? Kind of looks like a Maria. Yeah. This looks like a nice looking lady and all. I think she sat back and the guy recording kept the camera of her frame out of the frame for the most part. Could be. I guess it looks like it'd be hard to pull off, but maybe. Maybe she's way back and the other lady just sitting really far forward suddenly. Could be as simple as that. It's not impossible. Just along for the ride. Wonder Woman's giving it a 1. Let's see. Ghost, 0.5. Caitlin says -5 from Nathan Nate, and then 0.5 from Nathan Nate. What do we got over in Rumble? She did look icky, Barbara Mora says. Yep, they lost her. 1 from Justin, Barbara Mora 1. Yep. Dog Digger, 0.5. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good video. It could be more mundane, and somehow she just melted into the frame due to maybe the other lady is bigger than we thought. The one with the salmon shirt on. I just don't see any even the hair blowing or anything from that lady. So, now, granted, he's more focused on himself and his girlfriend there, obviously. But he does shoot over that side a few times, and it does make it hard to see. But, again, all your thoughts are just as valid. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but crazy. I thought it was a good video, thought it was worth discussing, so that's that one. Let's go to the next one. Next and final one, I should say. This is the last one on our journey tonight. So let's check this one out. This one is an image, just an image. Ghostbox, you have not been voting at all. I'm a little disappointed in you guys. Feel free to vote. I mean, you guys probably have, you guys can probably tell ghost stuff more than anybody. So we appreciate your input. All right, here's the last one. This one is an image, and it's coming from Ghosts of London. It's just what looks like an apparition that was captured in an old church. I'll tell you, though. Well, I'll put it up there and let you guys see. See what you guys think. I don't know. This one's a little more questionable, in my opinion. But let's have a look. Here it is, Ghosts of London. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. Ghosts of London. 1982 photographer Chris Brackley took one of the most famous ghost photos ever inside the historic St. Botolph's Church. While the photographer was developing, he was astonished to see a figure standing in an old-fashioned clothes high up in the church loft. Seen in the upper right-hand corner of this photograph is the transparent form of what looks like a woman. The negative was subjected to considerable expert analysis, which revealed that there was no double exposure to the film, and it was also proved that none of Chris's equipment was faulty. The only explanation for the mysterious figure was that someone spiritual must have actually been standing on the balcony when the picture was taken. A few years later, Chris was contacted by a builder who had been employed on restoration work in St. Botolph's crypt. He explained that in knocking down a wall, he had inadvertently disturbed a pile of old coffins. One had come open to reveal a reasonably well-preserved body, the face of which bore an uncanny resemblance to the figure that he had made an uninvited appearance in Chris's photograph. There's the image. I'm going to blow it up as much as I can. That's about as good as I can do for those of you that are looking. What do you think we're looking at here, folks? Is that a pretty solid ghostly apparition that was captured? Let me know what you think. I'll let you vote on this one. Annie Manuel's giving this one a 1. Looks like a priest's robe. It does. It does. Let's see. 0.5. Oops, that one. Because we can't pronounce the name. Yeah, that's always a good sign. 0.65 from Batman. Joanne's giving it a 1. Daryl Stanley's giving it a 1. Hooking Good Creations by Tina, 0. Author, illustrator BJ Lapierre gives this a 1. Looks like Kevin Nash in the Crusader Times. Adventures with Beth gives this one a 1. Hoggle's giving it a 1. 0.5 from Karen Alberding. Looks like a wooden statue. Rachel gets it right. Says the Batman. Rachel gets it right. Gives it a 1. It's a choir or academic gown. Very cool, Annie. Elaine Clifford gives it a 1. Wizard Moon 1. Jackie Hall 1. T-Bone 1. Looks like a guy. I kind of thought the same thing, honestly. That's a huge chin if that's a woman. Or a beard if it's a guy. 0.8 from Ramon Lachuga. 0.8 also from Cryptical Crossroads. 0.3 from Flat Sixer. 1 from Yeshua. 0.003 from Poncho. Standing Stones gives this one a 1. Kedstar halfway there. Vincent Sanchez is all in. RJ Windwalker's all in. And Kitty Cattywack's all in. And then over on the Rumble, what do we got? Let's see. She glitched. Not reacting to her disappearing. Lazy Ghost in the box tonight. Awesome. 1, a Chunky Monk from Barbara Mora. 1 for Me Too from Justin Goodearth. Dog Digger 0.75. Okay. This is what I'm seeing that's causing me some issue. This is the issue for me. And it doesn't make sense because this photo in this section here, first of all, I don't like this line on the rail. I think that rail looks like an editing seam. I think it's not just the shine on the wood because, I don't know, it just looks odd. What I don't like, though, the perspective of this shot. This shot from here to here looks like it was taken from a larger photo that was shot straight on to the subject. The everything about this looks like maybe the person is a little bit lower than this. Maybe this is on the stage at the church or at a church, but the perspective doesn't match the very steep grade of looking up at this character. If we were looking up at this character, we would see a lot more of under the chin, a lot less of the top hair on the head. The windows going this way means this wall is really funny because it's going straight like this at a 45 or better. And then suddenly it's kind of planed off, but it doesn't match. The perspective for me doesn't match. I think this is an edit personally. But, and I think that this light line going across the edge of this railing is an editing seam where it was trimmed in or trimmed out, as it were. But this does not look like they're looking up at this person that would be standing in this level of a balcony. It looks like he's looking straight onto the photographer. In other words, he would have to be leaning forward at about, 20 degrees in order to have this perspective. When it should be standing straight up, looking at the bottom of his chin underneath. And it's a he, I think. I think that's a good take. If it's a woman, she's got an extraordinarily huge chin. That's like a very unfortunate chin. But a very long chin so it almost looks like a guy with a beard. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It could be a woman, but I just don't like the perspective of the shot. I don't think it matches. That feels awkward to me. That looks like a straight on shot of somebody, and it should look like somebody standing. We should probably not see, except like from here up, if it was standing behind this railing up on this level. So that's my take on it. I don't like this one. I mean, at first blush, it was like, oh, that's very interesting. But now that I've been looking at it more, it's like that perspective doesn't match. Not to me. When we should be not, these windows, I don't know, it just doesn't match. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm absolutely wrong. But that to me is what's standing out as questionable. Whatever you guys think, you could be right. I could be absolutely wrong. That's just my take on it. Something about this perspective is like, this is a straight on shot. This person taking the photo is nearly on the same level as this figure here. This figure's a little bit above the photographer, but not up on a balcony above. That doesn't match to me. So that's my take. I don't know. I just think it's important to examine this stuff and throw out all ideas. But yeah, don't match. Cryptic Crossroads says, yep, I changed my vote 0. Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Thanks, Brent. Good night. Love you all. Yeah, it's going to be time to wrap it up, folks. We've pounded through the night. We did some cryptids. We did a lot of everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the journey. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. The balcony does look weird. Yeah, I think it does too. You guys are amazing. And yeah, the background shouldn't be that blurry. You're right. That's a good point too, Rachel. Or Barbara, sorry. Yep. Yeah, it's a good point. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. It should be crisp like the balcony front. Again, I'll put it up on screen so you can see. She's saying the background here. Where's my mouse? Where is it? Where's my mouse? There it is. The background here should be just as crisp as this and this. And she's right. It shouldn't be this blurry. So I think that's another good take. Thank you for that insight. That was good. All right, that's it. But remember, I'll be back on Wednesday. Watch for the new podcast, which will release late tomorrow night, actually Monday morning. Watch for it on Monday. And hopefully it's a good one. It's another one of my created ones. It's not an interview show tomorrow on the podcast. It's going to be me talking about a phenomena that I think is pretty interesting, and it correlates with a lot of stuff that I'm working on going forward. So anyway, hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, however you spend it. But thank you for spending as much as you guys did with me. That's incredible. I love you guys. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Great beginning of your week. I'll see you again, at least live on Wednesday night, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. We do the live shows. Please hit the like on the way out if you don't mind. If you're watching when it's not live, please leave a comment. All those things really help me out a ton with the algorithm. I'm always fighting the algorithm, whether it's any algorithm, any platform that we're on. So just get involved. And please feel free to recommend all this to other people you think might enjoy it. That's all I got for you. Good night, sweet dreams. And remember, love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. That's what we got. Good night, everybody. Take care.